Hello students, welcome back to 2D video game design. Today we're going to be talking about how to make things interact with each other. So we're going to talk about some basic game physics, and we're still dealing with this arcade game here that doesn't have any gravity in it. So if you remember, we have this Pac-Man type character, and right now we have up, down, left, right control, but as of right now there's nothing left in this game. So let's add a few more things in. I am going to create a sprite, 2D object sprite, and I'm going to call this block 1. Now I can go here into block 1 and I want to change the sprite. I'm going to use this stone that I've created. There's my sprite, and I'm going to go ahead and scale this down a little bit. And then while I'm at it, let's make 2 more of these. Okay, so we'll call this one block 2, and then let's move it so I can see it. We'll call this one block 3, and then again we'll move it so we can see it. Actually, I'm going to move this one here just so they can be in order. There we go. Block 1, block 2, block 3. Alright, now actually, just so we can tell the difference, I'm going to go to block 2 and I'm going to make this one red, and then let's go to block 3 and we'll make this one blue. Go. Okay, so now I have 3 different blocks in my game, and there are 3 different sprites, but you see I can just zoom right through them. There's no interaction between these at all. So here's what we'll do with that. I want to start adding the ability to interact with them. This is going to require us to add 2 different components here. So I'm going to go to my hero, and basically what I want is for this hero to have a physical form here. So we're going to go in and we're going to add in Rigidbody 2D. Now, Rigidbody lets us do stuff like gravity and mass, angular drag. We're going to talk about all of those in a little bit more detail in a moment. This is the one that lets me mess with all of the physics on my character. So if I go in here and just push play now, you'll notice that my hero falls off the screen. The reason for that is because right now there's gravity, and gravity's pointing down. In my game, I don't want there to be gravity, so I'm going to change that gravity scale to 0. And now you see that I stay put and I can still move around. Now, I still don't interact with the other characters, but I'm not falling off the screen. There's a second part to this. Right here, this is all of the different physics properties. However, this character right here doesn't have any skin in the game. Stuff can just pass right through it. So in order to tell Unity where the borders of my character are, I need a collider. I'm just going to type in collider 2D into the search, and I see I've got a box, capsule, circle, composite, all of these. And basically the box collider is a square that's going to go around your sprite. And this is the simplest way to create a border around it. Now I could do a circle that might be more appropriate for this one, but the circle is going to take up more memory, and then an edge collider is going to take up even more memory. So for today we'll just stick with the box collider. And let's go ahead and play that and see what happens. And nothing. The reason nothing's happening is because I haven't added any of those properties to the blocks. So my character has a collider on it that says where the border of my character is, but these blocks don't. So let's go and let's add that to these guys. So I'm going to add a box collider, and I'm going to add a box collider, and you get a box collider. And then over here, we're going to add Rigidbody 2D. And here we're going to add Rigidbody 2D. And here we're going to add Rigidbody 2D. And let's see what happens. They all fall down because we didn't mess with the gravity. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the gravity on each of these. Okay, so now they're staying still, and when I run into them now I've got the ability to interact with these. But you'll notice too, now my character's starting to rotate because the physics are making me turn here. So notice that my hero right here is rotated. The physics of running into these has caused me to rotate. So what I want to do is go here into my rigid body, and I've got this menu down here called constraints. And what I can do with constraints is I can tell it to freeze the position in the X or Y axis, or freeze the rotation in the Z axis. I want to go ahead and do that. And while I'm at it, let's go ahead and freeze the rotation on the gray block there so we can see the difference. Okay, so now when I go through, I can move this gray block all over the place, but when I move the red block, okay, so this one doesn't rotate, but these ones do. Okay, so let's turn that off. One of the big things I want to talk about with Rigidbody is the types of bodies that we have. So we've got three basic types. We've got dynamic, kinematic, and static. So we'll go ahead and make the gray one dynamic, and we'll make the red one kinematic, and we'll make the blue one static. And here's the difference. Dynamic bodies are able to be acted on by the environment and by physics. So if I run into this one, I can move it. This is a dynamic body. The kinematic body cannot be acted on by outside forces. So I can run into it, but nothing I do to it is ever going to move it. The difference is with kinematic, I can move a kinematic object, but I have to do it through code. So we'll get into scripting with moving this around later. This is a really good body type for moving platforms in your game, something that you don't interact with it, but it does move. Now static is something that cannot be moved. So we want this to just stay put forever. Okay, so those are our three different body types. I want my character to be dynamic. That way if stuff happens in the environment, something can affect it. Okay, so one other thing, so I've got my my dynamic one that I can move and my kinematic one that doesn't move unless I code it to move. And I've got my static one here. We have an element in video games a lot that's like a coin, for example, or a pellet in Pac-Man that you need to be able to run over and do something to. So what I'm going to do is get back into my script, and in my player movement here, I'm going to make it so I can destroy things when I collide with them. Okay, so I'm going to need to create a new function here to handle the collisions. And so I'm going to say void on collision enter 2D. So this is a method that we've created here, on collision enter 2D. This means when something collides with this object. Now this is in my player movement object. So right now this is only attached to the player. Now on the inside it says collision 2D collision. What this means is that there is an object that is the thing that we collided with. So I'm just going to say this thing that we collided with, I want to destroy it. So I'm going to say destroy, and then I can say in here collision. Now, collision is the object type collision 2D, and the thing that we need to destroy is the game object. So I'm going to say collision, and that collision does have a game object. So using the dot operator, I can say collision dot game object. Okay, so now when I collide with something, I'm going to destroy that thing. So Control S to save it, and then let's go back into our game. And then we see I'm going to go and collide with this guy, and it gets destroyed, destroyed, destroyed. And if you look up here in our hierarchy, you see that those items no longer exist. But when we restart it, when we leave the game, they're back. Now this is good, however, the script that we just wrote makes it so I destroy anything that I touch. And that might make an interesting game, but we also want to make it so I can not destroy things that I touch. So what I'm going to do here is if I go to this one, I can start tagging my blocks. So right here it says tag. I'm basically just going to give a label to this. So I'm going to add a tag to this, and I'll call this, we'll add a tag, and I'll call this one gray. Okay, and then also I'm gonna create the tags red and blue. Okay. So now when I go here, it says untagged. I'm going to tag this one with gray, and this one is tagged with red. This one is tagged with blue. So basically what we're going to do in our script now is before we destroy something, I'm going to have it check to see if this is the one that I want to destroy. So, before I say this one, actually I'll just delete it and I'll write it over again. We're going to use a conditional statement. That means only do something if something is true. So, only destroy the other object if it is blue block. So, first thing I want to say is if it's the blue block. So I want to say if collision, and remember collision is the thing I just crashed into, dot, let's look at the game object, dot, and now we have this ability called compare tag. Okay, and inside compare tag, the argument that I want to give is the tag that I'm looking for, which in this case is blue. And be careful here, this is case sensitive. So if the collision has a game object, and that game object, we can compare the tag, and if the tag is blue, then do this. Destroy collision dot game object, semicolon. Okay, Control S to save that. And then let's go back into our game. Okay, so now if I run into the gray block, it doesn't get destroyed, but this one is kinematic, so I can still move it around. If I run into the red block, this one is kinematic, but it is not the blue one, so it doesn't get destroyed, but I can't run through it. And then if I run into the blue block, it sees that the tag says blue and the object gets destroyed. Now, one other thing before we're done here is this block right here is nice and all, but I might want a wall. And right now it looks like my only way to make a wall would be to either put a whole bunch of these or to stretch it out. And if I stretch this one out, let me just stretch this on the y-axis. I can do that to make a wall, but I don't like the way that looks. So I'm gonna push Control Z. Now if I go into the sprite renderer, if you go into draw mode, you can say you want it tiled. And then you can look at the width and height of this, and I can say I would like the height of this to go like this. And notice here that it's not actually stretching my sprite, it is just repeating it. So now I have something that looks like a wall. And then notice right here this green square, that's my box collider. That didn't move with it. So I can look right here, and let's just round this off to 17. Oops, not 170. If the height is 17 here, I could say that my box collider, I want that to be 17, and that matches nicely. Let's go ahead and just move this a little bit. And now if I push play, now I have this kinematic wall right here that I can't get through. Oops, I can go over it though, if I know that the screen is not a border. Okay, so this should give you enough skills to get your assignment completed for the day. So enjoy. Feel free to email me if you have any questions.